לא יתפלל, ואני יודע שהתפללת. אז אנחנו נפתח.
All right, here we are. Hope you managed Monday night without the shear. מתחילים אלתר רבה. חף בייז. יש לנו הרבה ללמוד. אני לא יודע אם נספיק. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish everything that we need to finish today. Exactly. We're going to start with Chav Beis in the Alter Rebbe. You're allowed to tell a goy to make food for a child who's hungry. The needs of a child are like the needs of a person who is seriously ill, for which you're allowed to ask a goy to do malacha. You're even allowed to feed him something muktzah, even to do it yourself. If you have no other choice. Chav Beis, bo. No, could be it's edible, but it's muktzah. Let's say it was an egg that was laid on Shabbos. Beitza shenolda b'Shabbos. Muktzah.
Sounds familiar.
Muktzah, but the guy cooked it for him. The guy's allowed to cook, so you're allowed to feed it to him. Baruch Hashem.
I'm sorry, where are we?
We're just doing 22, Chav Beis in the Alter Rebbe.
Oh, okay.
We're just saying that you're allowed to, a child's needs are treated like that of a seriously ill person, and you're allowed to have a goy do them for the child. We said last time there's different opinions about what age that is. Some say as long as he eats different food than adults. Some say up to the age of 9. And some say up to the age of 13, if there's something that he needs for his health. Okay, Chav Gimel.
Did we do 21? I don't have it marked here.
Did we do 21? Does anybody remember?
I don't think so.
I had a clip on 17.
17? No, we definitely did. We did the long ones. We did 19 and 20, no question. Let's go back and do 21. I thought we did it, but maybe not. Let's go back to 21.
No, I just have us marked up to 20.
Okay. Chaf Aleph. Kosher Asalas no days. Anything that is forbidden for a Jew to do, for example, to apply medication, for example, or do any Yisr Rabbanan, can't do any Yisr Rabbanan for a regular Chodesh Inbus Sakana. Right? For Sakana's Aver, for a limb in danger, you could do a Rabbanan. For a regular person who's seriously ill, you cannot. You can ask a goy to do even a derais, but you cannot do it Rabbanan yourself. So whatever's forbidden for a Jew to do, the choyle himself.
Oh, thank you.
When you eat this, small bites.
Okay.
On a fork for the egg salad.
Yeah.
Can I get some chips also, please?
Okay, I'm putting you on lower. Okay. Whatever's forbidden to do through a Jew, the sick person cannot do himself either because he's also Jewish. Whatever is asur, afilu for the chola himself.
What about if you have a non-Jew that's critical?
Well, the whole concept of desecrating the Shabbos is for a person who keeps Shabbos or who should keep Shabbos. The Gemara says, "Chalal olav Shabbos achas kadesh yishmer Shabbos asar." You have to desecrate Shabbos so that he could keep further Shabbos. So, in other words, it's really Shabbos should override a human life, even a Jewish life in theory. But because we keep Shabbos, so desecrating the Shabbos is actually considered part of keeping Shabbos because you're going to enable further Shabbos to be kept. So for non-Jew, that's not included. Well, practically today, we do not do that because there's too much possibility of the opposite of shalom, darkish shalom, ways of peace. It's too much availability, strict halacha. But darkish shalom says that we cannot afford to do that in today's world when every private matter becomes public immediately on social media, and we know chas v'shalom what can happen to Jewish people as a result of bad publicity. Physical lives can be in danger. You know what happened in Crown Heights in the riots in 1991 with Yankel Rosenbaum being killed was because there was a rumor that the Hatzalah, wasn't just a rumor, it was true, the Hatzalah treated the injured Jewish driver while the young black boy was dying under the car, which is true, but they couldn't lift the car anyway, so they needed to wait for the ambulance to come to do that. But I'm saying, but that was the rumor, and the riot started, and literally somebody was killed in those riots. So we cannot risk that. But at the same time, one should try to minimize as much as possible. To do it with a shinui, to do it d'Rabbanan, to find somebody else who can do it, you know what I'm saying, a non-Jew. But in the end of the day, one should not let them die, no.
Maybe instead of doing so many melachot, then you do one melachot and you kill him, and then he's dead. There's nothing to do.
That's not mutter on Shabbos either.
But it's one melachot, one perfect melachot.
That's not mutter either. Not for Darkei Shalom, not for Shabbos. You have no heter for that. Okay. Here's the chiddush of 21. When the non-Jew is doing a malacha for the Jew who is sick, and we're allowing the non-Jew to do malacha for him, the choila, the sick person, can help him a little bit. Let's say it's a medication that he's applying. So like we're going to learn now, the Jew can help him apply that medication, even though it's a medication that the Jew could not apply himself.
Stuff like that.
No, we're going to see an example right now. For example, a non-Jew is applying this medication to the Jew's eye when the illness of the eye is still a little bit ill. The reason he's saying it's a little bit ill is because if it was majorly ill, then you're allowed to do anything, right? It's considered sakanas tefashos, right? Eye infection is considered dangerous. But if it's not, at that point, it's already on the mend. The person's already getting better. But he needs some medication. The Jew is allowed to open and close his eye so that the medication should go into the eye properly, like eye drops or whatever. בדיוק. הסיוע הזה, this help that the Jew is doing by opening and closing his eyes, ein bo mamash. It's not substantial. It's not important.
Automatically, it's closed and open.
No, not automatically. You have to open and close it. What do you mean?
Not like that. It's just closed. And you come with a drop.
When you put an eye drop in, you have to keep it open and then close it at the right time.
If I put eye in my drop, it will not go inside because all the time my eyes closed. I cannot open it.
You have to do it right. Kol shahaya hanochil yachal ha'asoisoi. Kol shahaya yachal hanochil ha'asoisoi b'var b'leis yoyso.
So Rabbi, you allowed to open with your finger the eyes?
It makes no difference. Finger or eyes makes a difference. If the non-Jew could have done it himself and the Jew is just helping him, then that help is not considered mamash. It's not considered substantial. If it's something that the Jew has to do, otherwise the medication can't be applied, then it's a problem because that's considered like the Jew is doing it. But if it's something that the non-Jew could do himself and the Jew is helping him, so that's considered in bo mamash. It's not substantial. Yes, he can. He can open it. He can go like that. He could, but it's easier if the guy will help him instead of making him do it. Now this is talking about a derabanan. To apply application, a medication, to an eye is only derabanan. But even if it's an issur d'oraisa that the non-Jew is doing, but the Jew is helping him in a way that the non-Jew doesn't need his help, that's also mutter. The Alter Rebbe explains in the parentheses a concept. If somebody is doing a forbidden action on Shabbos and somebody else is helping them, well, that help is considered significant. That help is considered a rabbinic violation. If somebody's doing an issur d'oraisa and you help him. Let's say, for example, somebody is going to light a fire under a pot on Shabbos, chas v'shalom. The person who puts the pot on the fire, knowing that the person is going to light it, is called a Messiah. He's helping him. The person who puts the water in the pot, the person who puts the chicken in the water, the person who puts the wood under the pot, all of those people, exactly, are considered Messiah. And that's an issur d'Rabbanan. And even if the person is doing an issur d'Rabbanan, a person who helps him do that issur d'Rabbanan is called doing a shvus to shvus, a double d'Rabbanan. Oh, regards from Rabbi Jacks, by the way.
You end up staying there?
No, but at a neighbor that he organized. He couldn't because his in-laws were coming, whatever. But
Which neighbor?
Young. This is Young.
Oh.
Marla.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, my parents live across the street.
Yeah, he showed us. So, yeah. So the point is that when the so this is the question. So if
You can daven until sorry.
a Jew. Question, Daniel?
No, sorry, my mistake. I hit the button by accident. Sorry.
Okay, so the point is that normally we say Messiah yesh by mamish. Messiah is significant and it's forbidden. So why over here are we saying ein by mamish? So now the Alter Rebbe explains in the parentheses. When it's a forbidden action, so then the person who helps is considered to be helping a forbidden action. When it's a permissible action, like over here, that the Chacham allowed the Goy to help the Jew, so then the help of that permissible action is also made permissible by the Chacham. So you'll say, why? Why do they have to, just because they made it permissible for the Goy, why do they have to make it permissible for the Jew? So the answer is because after all, it is contributing to the healing of this person. And it's only a Messiah, it's only helping, it's not really doing the main thing. So the Chacham were lenient, and they allowed it. If the Goy does something else that's forbidden, even in other words, let's say the Goy is doing something that's not authorized because the person is not seriously ill, and the Goy is doing it anyway for him, and it's not allowed. So then a person who helps him is not doing the proper thing. I'm not understanding this. One more time. But if the Goy does something else that is forbidden, and a Jew may not help him. Since he doesn't need his help, and the Goy can do it himself. Okay, I don't think they're translating it properly. Okay, no, they're not. They didn't get it. Okay, sorry. If the non-Jew is doing something else to help the Jew, but it's not involving anything that his help is needed. In the case where he's applying drops to the eye, so the help of the Jew is needed to open and close. It's not essential because he could open and close it himself, but it's needed. But when the guy is heating up food for him, which is allowed, so then the Jew should not help him by saying, "Oh, I'll get the pot. I'll get the wood." No. Let him do it because he doesn't need you. You understand? He can do it himself. So then we let him do it himself. But if there is some need in the help, because through this, the healing is being done better than when the non-Jew does it alone. So then another Jew can help him a little bit. In other words, if the help is needed, not essential but needed, then we allow the Jew to do it. If it's just to make it easier, then not.
So the help, it should be not the Oraita, only the Rabbanan to help the Chole, to help the Goy.
Of course. We're talking about where the Jew is not doing the main malacha. The non-Jew is doing the main malacha, and the Jew is helping him. That's called Messiah. He's not doing the main malacha.
Yeah, but we said the eyes, it's okay, but the malacha from what I said with the pot, it's the Oraita, the fire.
Yeah, but the non-Jew is doing it, and the Jew doesn't have to help. There's no need for the Jew to help.
So, but he said the Jew, the Chole can help.
No,
Messiah.
only if the guy cannot do it himself easily.
He cannot pick up the pot. It's too big.
Yeah.
You can help him.
You can help him if you're not doing the main malacha. If he's doing the main malacha, for example, you're going to pick up the pot, you're going to put it on the fire, but he's lighting the fire. The fire's not on yet. The fire's not on. No. It's too heavy, so you're going to pick it up with him and you can put it on, and then he's going to light it.
You're allowed to do
that. You're allowed to do because that's the Messiah.
Messiah, not directly by himself.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's something that is hard for the non-Jew to do himself. If the non-Jew can do it himself, so we let him do the whole thing. But if it's something that he needs your help, and you're still not doing the main malacha, that's when it's...
What's the point to hold the cow not to move? That?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never milked a cow. A goat once, but never a cow. So I don't know.
I have a question.
Just 1 second. One second. I'm sorry.
The fire is off.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's on, you can't help. Yes, Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump back up to I think the second paragraph with the parentheses where it says Afal Pish Hamasiya Lamach. So that's were you saying that the goy is doing a Isser Doraisa for the Jew, but then it becomes a Shvus to Shvus? Was that what you?
If the goy is doing Isser Doraisa for the Jew, and the Jew is helping in a way that's not significant, but is helpful for his treatment, then it's allowed.
And that becomes a shvus to shvus, and so to speak.
Well, it's a permissible shvus to shvus. It's not a forbidden.
Okay.
Shvus to shvus is not forbidden. But in this case, the Chachamim permit it because of the concept of Messiah in B'mamish.
Okay.
If it's a help that is only possible with the help of the Jew, then he cannot do it, because then it's considered like he's doing the actual malacha, which is a problem. Okay, Chav Gimel and the Alter Rebbe, not 2, not 4, not 6, not 8, not 10. Wow, Baruch Hashem.
Minyan with the 6.
Baruch Hashem.
All set.
They only permitted Amir Lanachri for the sick when he needs it on Shabbos, but not for Matzah Shabbos. He's going to need food on Matzah Shabbos. We don't allow the non-Jew to cook on Shabbos for what he's going to need on Matzah Shabbos. He'll wait a little bit on Matzah Shabbos. He'll get it then.
So all let's say the not right to cook whatever left over, you cannot do it on Shabbos.
It's Bishalak. It's a machlekes Rishonim actually. The Ramah holds that it's mutter.
I'm talking about the Chole himself, not others.
Even the Chole himself and others. The Ramah says it's mutter. No, sorry. No, the Ramah says it's mutter for the choyle himself. I don't think it's mutter for others, even according to the Ramah. But the Rashba holds that it's aser. That's how the Magen Avraham paskins. That's the Alter Rebbe and the Mishnah Berurah both paskin also.
So
That it's bishul akum after Shabbos. It's mutter on Shabbos, but also after Shabbos.
So if he's have a plate and he's eating and he cannot finish that plate, this plate he will not be able after Shabbat. Machloket.
Ikar halacha, he cannot after Shabbat. He has to get new food, kosher food.
And the pot turns into bishul.
That's an interesting question, actually.
I'm not even very familiar with what the Kate's case is. Jumped in, but I was studying food that the goy was not cook.
The guy is allowed to cook for chodesh mesakana, and the chodesh mesakana can eat it on Shabbos, even though it's bishul akum. But for this purpose, it's allowed. After Shabbos,
There's no problem with bishul.
Rabbi Mechila.
on Shabbos, there's no problem. Chomer mater.
Rabbi Mechila.
After Shabbos, it's a machlokes if it becomes bishul akum for the chodesh. The Ra'ah says, kibbut jotra, it's mutter after Shabbos also. The Rashba says no, after Shabbos it becomes aser.
רבי, אם החולה מסייע, אז זה לא בישול עקום כבר.
לא, זה בישול עקום.
איך זה בישול עקום?
זה בישול עקום. מסייע פירושו או להדליק את האור, את האש, או לשים את הגדרה על האש, שזה אסור לו לסייע.
What's happened if the גזע is too big and you need two people to pick it up?
You can't put it on the fire. You can put it before the fire's on, and that doesn't help for
Before.
bishul akum. Critically, dangerously, not critically. If he's seriously ill but not dangerously ill, he cannot eat non-kosher food. Well, the way we're defining serious, I don't know what critical means because I don't know what it means. But the way we're defining serious is that he's bedridden, and dangerous is that the life is at stake. If his life is not at stake, he's not allowed to eat non-kosher food. Then, of course, he could eat whatever, as needed.
We hold that a Jew is allowed to do an Isser Darabanan Mashinoi to help Chodesh and Sakana, not from the Mishkav.
Yeah.
That's the only level of help he's going to get by a Jew.
Yeah.
Also to light the fire?
Darabanan b'shinui.
Rabbanan.
שומע, here's the Mishnah Berurah. והכלים שלו בשביל היהודים אינם יהודים צריכים להכשר. ואפילו כלי חרס. כיוון דעיקר ישראל אינו אלא מדרבנן. די מגיל לשלוש פעמים. Yeah.
Why Shalosh Pam?
There's a sheet in the Rishonim that you could be Magal Kli Cheres 3 times.
Oh, that's how much the first, but the other Kalim are not.
No, Tzrichem Hechsher. No, Tzrichem Hechsher. If it's a Keli, no, why should it? It's a Keli that could be kasher, then you kasher it. Why should you do it 3 times?
No, that's what I was asking.
Kli Cheres that cannot be kasher, for those you can kasher it 3 times.
So Rabbi,
We're being makel on him because it's a suffix.
Because it's a Iker Yisrei and El Rabbanan.
so
The Iker Isser of Bishul Akum was only Midrabanan.
so we can learn from here to kashrut ceramic, Rabbi?
No, there's only here, only in this case.
Only this case.
Yeah, ויש בכלים אין צריך מחשר כלל, ועשוי מחלל אין כלים שבישלו בין לחוד בשבס לא יפסיד. שומע? The Machaber says some say you don't have to the Mishnah Berurah says some say you don't have to kasher at all because of the Rishonim that hold that it's mutar lechatchila.
And it's even much after Shabbos.
And it's you're gonna have to exactly, and therefore, so the Ramah says it's even mutter for a bori. Sorry, I got that wrong. The Ramah says it's even mutter for a bori, and the Ramah passes like that. And even though the Meister shouldn't be mekel, nevertheless, then you're not killing your shit lismach alayim.
Even for a Murray.
Yeah.
So you don't have to catch the kilo. That's how he's ending up.
Hasoymach lo yifsid. That's how he's ending up. Hasoymach lo yifsid. It's better to kasher, but nicht gefährlich if you don't. The Mishnah Berurah.
That's nicht gefährlich.
It's not the end of the world.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. Nicht gefährlich.
Nicht gefällig.
Gefährlich.
Nicht gefällig.
Yes.
It's not the end
It's
of
not the end of the world.
Huh?
Okay, we're going to skip a little bit. We're going to be skipping today because we're not going to be able to finish if we learn everything. And a lot of these things are very situational, and we don't do many of these refuahs. So we're going to skip right now to Chof Aleph in the Mechaber.
Ask a question.
Yeah.
On this, where it's not full of Mishka. So he says here that Katan, and it's is how old this Katan is to be. Treat him like a chol change the kanan, so not full of Mishka.
Yeah.
Meaning, what are we like? What's the getter? What are we doing?
The example that's given here is if he needs food, he's hungry, and he doesn't, the food that's available is not appropriate for him, so the guy is allowed to cook for him. That's an example that he gives here. But if there would be some other, the Alter Rebbe gave it. I think the Mechaber is talking about the same thing.
Well, so if your son's picky right now, he doesn't want to eat the lunch that you serve.
I don't know if picky counts.
I
don't know if picky counts.
Oh, meaning, well, he has to eat. He's not eating. That's the whole point here.
Yeah, but even during the week, if the parents put their foot down, he'll eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it's not so clear that you can give in to pickiness. You have to use your parental skills. I'm talking about food that's not appropriate. Parents, whatever the food is, if it's something that's not appropriate for him, there's steak to eat.
Two boats going to break to the age of 13.
Okay, whatever it is, depending on his age, depending on his situation, there's food that's not appropriate, whatever it is.
Big is not appropriate.
No, maybe not cooked.
Maybe you have food with a lot of problems.
Or maybe there's no food. Maybe there's no food if there's no food, there's no food. For an adult, we say, okay, you'll be hungry. You're allowed to be hungry on Shabbos. I mean, better not, but we don't let you cook for an adult just because he's hungry. For a child, yeah, you can cook.
Goy or Israeli?
Goy.
And,
so in a synagogue, Rabbi, for kids over there, allowed to go to cook it? לחמם אותו, דברים כאלו?
I'm sorry, Alpam?
You can depend on that and assure. You got many kids over there. You allowed to warm the food for them?
No. Today, kids don't really eat differently than adults. It's very hard to give an example of this today. If there's food for adults to eat, in 99% of the cases, the kids can also eat it. So it's hard to apply this today. I'm not saying there's no applications, but it's hard to apply.
let's say the light is off.
They have a minyan for kids, and they have kiddush for kids. The food belongs to the kids, only kids.
Okay, so prepare it before Shabbos. What do you need the guy for?
No, I mean, let's say it's cold.
So it's cold.
The guy you cannot. We just said kids, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's if they need it. What do they need it for?
Just put it in the stomach.
Yeah. In most cases, they don't need it today.
I'm trying
In
to
case
bring
your
it
kids
in.
are going to fall asleep with the lights off. The lights on.
Yeah, that's an example.
Whatever.
That's an example.
So So here we're talking about if they don't have food at home, and then the kids crying and they want food. That's the
it's the Ramah, it's not the Mechaber.
And Sakanas.
Mutter, one second. Mutter lermelen Yehudi lasses tafshel lekadin shel malecha. Stam tzochem chodeshim sakana. It's the Ramah. Yeah, what? Sorry.
And Sakanas Aver means even an external limb, right?
Yeah,
Even
finger.
Body part.
Yeah, even a finger.
Even a finger.
Yeah.
And if you can, so if someone has a Sakanas Aver, you would be able to, let's say like a finger and things like that. You'd be able. He says here that nowadays every Sakanas Aver could be a Sakanas Nefashos. So I was thinking, cutting off a finger or something is not so.
Not saying cutting off, but the sakanos aver could include permanent damage to let's say there's a break in a finger. So if you don't.
Oh, breaking a finger.
I'm
That's
saying.
Sakanas Aver?
No, if it is sakanos aver, I'm not saying it is. If it is sakanos aver, for example, if it's not treated, it might affect the the mobility of that aver, even if it's not going to die, the aver is not going to be amputated, but it's not going to work properly. That's an example of sakanos aver, but that doesn't mean.
I did not take care of it, and see it's still broken inside.
Uh-huh.
That's what they're talking about.
So you can't use it. You can't use it the same. So עובד אותו דבר או לא ממש?
I don't feel anything, Baruch Hashem, but I think if I play bowling, this bother me here.
Ah.
This,
No. So he won't bowl.
no.
I don't know. But I'm saying I don't know if every sakanas aver is simple that it's sakanas nefashos. Depends on the situation.
I'll just read it. I mean, so Sakanas Aver is a broken bone or not a bone?
A broken bone that may not heal
Sorry,
properly. A broken bone that, if not treated, may not heal properly. That would be sakanas aver.
Right.
But I don't think it's sakanas nefashos. I don't think so.
It's definitely not Sakanas Aver.
No, I mean people
But he
get
says here,
broken
it's funny because
bones.
he says maybe he's talking about not that kid. He's talking about just, a body, like let's say a finger got chopped off, or
Yep, that's pretty scary. Yeah,
it's happened. I've had people that
Yeah.
cutting salad.
yeah.
So they put it in an icebox. But anyways, it was manenu kimat ein lecha sakanas aver shelo krucha gam b'sakanas kol haguf al yedei har'ala v'kadubeh.
Okay.
Har'ala is bacteria.
Infection,
Yeah.
infection, poison.
Nikar cholish yesh b'sakanas kol haguf mechalim al yedei Shabbat al yedei Israel afilu b'Isser Torah.
Okay. It's hard to make
It wouldn't work out if
generalizations.
it's a broken bone.
Yeah, it's hard to make generalizations. Kimat does not mean every case. Kimat. So
So
something has to be
let's
assessed.
what did we say? You'd be allowed to.
You could do a derabanan. Sakanas
Right.
aver, a Jew can do a derabanan.
Right.
A kids,
Let's say a finger.
that's what I'm asking.
Would you be able to?
One second,
not broken.
this you're asking. Like a kid's working and he fell in his finger and is I think is screaming. So this one is sakanai,
Sakanat aver?
Right.
Yeah, a goy can take him to the hospital, not a Jew.
and no
Goy.
goy.
No
There's
goy? Wait till after Shabbos.
You can call
The-
that.
the-
Call the ambulance.
You can call that.
Call ambulance.
Call an Uber also.
Uber, ambulance, yeah.
Uber, ambulance.
Anything electronic you can do. But in the case of a cut off finger, you'd be able to take it to the hospital according to this bacteria and stuff like that.
I don't know enough medicine to answer that question,
Okay.
honestly.
If a pregnant woman to take her to the hospital,
I mean, it seems
So
like
it
a
seems
cut-off
like-
finger is going to have enough bleeding that it's sakanas nefashos. That seems clear. So yeah, I would say yes.
makes sense.
A nail? No,
Really, by your nail, it's like
I don't think so.
very
It'll grow back.
I don't think it's a limb. A nail's a nail. It's a limb. I don't think so. Okay. We're going to do Chof Aleph in the Mechaber. Sure, Odom Kidloyer, the Erev Shabbos, and this will give Ayin b'Shabbos. Shein Nir Ele Karoichitz. Vudel Yom Mitzvot Pasach. Okay, my friends. This is a very interesting halacha which has practical applications to things that we have today. So they have this kind of eye medication, which they called kiloirin. Chaf Aleph in the Mechaber. Shoira Adam kiloirin. You can soak the kiloirin, which is some kind of medication. So the way they used to do it is they used to mix water with this, whatever ingredients were in this kiloirin. And then they used to put it on the eye. Now, you can't mix the water on Shabbos with the medication and apply it to the eye, because that's like regular medication on Shabbos that you're not allowed to do. However, if you mixed the kiloirin with the water before Shabbos, and now the water doesn't really look different than regular water, you're allowed to apply it to the eye on Shabbos. Why? Because there's 2 points. As far as you are going to be reminded not to go into your little homemade pharmacy and grind more medication by the fact that you had to mix it with the water before Shabbos. That acts as your reminder to not do anything else. Just what you prepared before Shabbos you're going to do. So that's why it's mutter for you. As far as the fact that it looks like you're applying medication, which is asar. No, this doesn't look like that. It looks like regular water. It doesn't look different than regular water. So that is why this is mutter. And this has application to modern medication as well. But let's first read in the Alter Rebbe. This is in Chav Zayin in the Alter Rebbe. Shir Adam Kiloin Rakin with Tzulum Ev Shabbos Nunes Lagabe Ayin Shabbos L'Refu. You're allowed to soak soft and clear kiloirin from before Shabbos to put it on the eye on Shabbos. The reason he says, he translates it as, I don't know, he doesn't really translate it. Some kind of mixture of herbs. I don't know exactly what it was. So,
Rose water, planting water, and
okay. Sounds healthy. So yeah, very good. The point is that it's mutter. Alter Rebbe adds that it has to be rakin and slulin. It has to be soft and clear. If it's not clear, then it's going to make the water look different. Then it'll be maybe look like a refuah. And if it's not soft, then it's going to make the water, instead of being running, it's going to make it like thick. That's also a problem. We don't make a decree that you might grind herbs. Since they said that you have to soak them before Shabbos, this will be a reminder to him that he's not allowed to do refuah on Shabbos. By the fact that he did it before Shabbos, that will remind him not to do it on Shabbos. What about Maras Ayin? People see him applying this on Shabbos. No, it only looks like he's washing his eye. Because it is soft and clear, it will look like it's wine, which in those days they used to wash their eyes with wine. As you're washing, you can't open your eyes a lot back and forth, because then it will be clear that it's a refuah washing. If it's a thick kilar, then it doesn't look like liquid anymore, then it looks like a refuah, you can't do it. Now, if you put the kilar on your eye before Shabbos, even if it's thick, it's allowed, because that's just a continuation that you don't have to do anything, you just leave it where it is. Okay, so what's the practical application of this?
I'm sorry, did you jump to the Alter Rebbe right now?
I just jumped into the Alter Rebbe, I apologize, yes.
Okay, which number?
That was Chav Zayin, I just read through 27.
Okay, thanks.
So the question is, how does this apply today? The answer is that some people say, very simple. I think we discussed this last time. No. Teabag is refuah. Teabag is refuah. Nobody does that. No healthy people do this. No healthy people do that. I've never seen any healthy people do that.
If you have why not?
So that's a refuah. It's a refuah. So here's the thing. We discussed this the other week. If you mix the medicine with water before Shabbos, based on this, you should be allowed to take it because you have a reminder not to start grinding any medication, even though we don't grind medication anymore, but in theory, you have that reminder. And as far as the Marasayan, people look, it looks like you're just taking a drink from the fridge,
Yeah.
whatever it
We
is.
said that, we put it in the bottle.
Yes. Now, even though we already said that, and that's what it seems like, he points out in the Dirshu that it's not so simple. Why not? Because the Mishnah or the Igros Moshe holds that the whole heter is that because in this particular case, the way to make it is to mix it with water. That's how you make it. So by making it before Shabbos, you've already started the healing. It's like you started the healing before Shabbos. But if you stop mix medication, it doesn't have to be mixed with water before Shabbos. That's not considered like you started the healing. That's considered like you just mixed it with water before Shabbos. Big deal. Now you're coming on Shabbos to take it for the first time. Now it's like you're starting a medication. So Moshe doesn't allow it. On the other hand, he brings down that the Minchas Yitzchak does allow it, the Shevet HaLevi allows it. So, B'kitzur, there's room for leniency to mix the medication with the water before Shabbos, and then just take it on Shabbos, so on.
Who does not? Who doesn't?
Reb Moshe.
Doesn't allow?
Reb Moshe holds that it's only mutter if it's a type of medication that has to be mixed with water. So then by mixing it with water, it's like you started the process of taking it. Really didn't physically take it, but you got started on the medication before Shabbos.
You mentioned something about grinding medicine and put it in sugar or something like make it look like sugar. Mentioned something.
Somebody asked about that.
No, someone mentioned coffee. I think sugar would be a much better idea if it goes white.
I don't know.
I have here that Moshe is allowing it.
What does he say?
כתב איגרוס משה שלכן מותר לערבב מבעוד יום טיפות תרופה במים או במשקה אחר ולשתות בשבת. But then he has in סוגריים, he has in parentheses, בדבר שלא רגילים בכך.
Oh, he says בדבר שלא רגילים בכך. דווקא.
Sounds like what you're saying, דברים שלא רגילים בכך.
Yeah.
He says בדברים שלא רגילים בכך.
Having no choice, we'll have to do the old-fashioned thing and look in the Igros Moshe. Recham Chelik Beis Pevav. That's the danger of using a Sfarim that quote others' Sfarim. You never actually know what they say until you look at it. Pevav.
I would trust that safer over this one. That probably had a lot of negatives.
I wouldn't trust any safer
But one of them's
that
probably
quotes. I'm just saying, a lot of Sfarim that quote, they don't always get it right.
got it from his kids. זה מה שקורה שאתה לא עובר. טוב. אתה לא ישן טוב אולי. מקררים בגלל שהגוף חלש.
חוסר שמחה.
זה חלש.
כל חולי. חוסר שמחה.
Yeah, it's the Dirshu. It's the Dirshu's way.
What?
Dirshu got it right. He says it's only a food that has to be mixed with food or drink before, and you're doing it before is considered like you started to do it. So if you do it before Shabbos, then it's mutter. But something that doesn't have to be mixed, even if you choose to mix it, does not help.
At least you started a bit.
Before Shabbos, correct.
So it has to be, it's totally on Regilin, or it's totally on, or you allowed to do it? Or,
No, it's regular. It has to be something that's the way to take it. The way to take it is by mixing, and by mixing it before Shabbos, it's like you've started to take it. So something that's not normally mixed with water doesn't help.
So if I have this bar all the time, I mix it for me. That's it for somebody.
where's the,
Now, if
Chaim Chelik Beis and Pevav.
I put water half,
Pevav.
I have to put the medicine as well too, or just half water and put it in the refrigerator. This will be like.
Now you have to put the medicine too.
But the medicine, if you put it, let's say it's not good. You have to put it on the spot.
Well, then you can't do it.
Yeah.
It's to be before Shabbos.
Maybe I say 1 drop.
It has to be mixed before Shabbos. If it's not mixed before Shabbos, then this whole hedger does not apply. Okay. Let's do Chaf Hey in the Mechaber. We're jumping back and forth. Ritia Shenaf Lamaga Be'amaka.
it's like half that, but a lot of stuff.
Chaf Beis? Gilde Amaka? I don't know. I don't see it as being,
Things like 5-6 pages in the West.
I don't know. I'm not saying that we're learning everything.
13.
We're skipping stuff. I'm just reading what I think is the most practical. Actually, Chaf Dalet is interesting. Basically, you're allowed to put on a protective covering over a wound, like a Band-Aid or a bandage or anything that does not have medication, because that's just protecting the wound. That's not healing the wound. But you cannot put something that actually heals it unless it's a serious wound or whatever, obviously. But a regular wound, you're not allowed to put any kind of medicated bandage on it because that's a refu.
What are you allowed to do here?
In Chaf Dalet, you're allowed to just put a protective cover, like a Band-Aid. He talks about an ola, a leaf. But it's just an example of something that is not a medicine.
Oh, bend it on your finger?
Yeah, you're allowed to put a Band-Aid on your finger.
Oh, okay.
Someone told me that there's some type of thing that people put on their nose, mainly football players or football players also do this.
Right.
Yeah, opens up the.
It's a natural. It's not okay. It's not medicine.
No, it's a breathing effort. It's like a Band-Aid. It looks like that pulls open.
I took about something else.
I don't know what it is. I know what you're talking about.
It's a
Clips.
it's kind of like like a very thin spring device. You put on the bridge of your nose that
It
opens
just-
up the nostrils a little bit,
Yeah.
so you can take in more air.
That's interesting.
For sleeping, for snoring.
But it has nothing.
No, that's what football players wear it also, so they
Yeah,
can get
but
more
for,
air.
if I help you not to snore.
I gotta get it.
Yeah,
My wife will be happy.
Yeah,
They're called breathe rights.
the body is you get used to it, and then
Is your
it
phone
doesn't
working? Is your phone working or no?
No.
What happened? Canada?
Canada froze it, and that's it. I can't defrost it.
No.
It's literally, I touch the screen, it doesn't respond.
Put
Like it
it in
doesn't-
rise overnight, Rabbi.
Did you fill in the water?
didn't fall in anything.
Oh, it just stopped working.
It just stopped working out of the
Rabbi.
blue.
Rabbi, Remove the
Was
battery.
it really in cold?
Remove the
I
battery.
removed it,
No,
put it back,
no,
forth,
Mechila. Put it in the inside the rice in a container. Close it
With
overnight.
rice, it never fell in
Overnight.
water.
It
Nothing
didn't get
happened.
wet.
It doesn't
Didn't
matter.
get wet.
It doesn't matter. He got froze.
From the cold?
No, I
No,
was just
I'm
kidding.
just saying
I was just
it
kidding.
froze like a screen freeze.
The screen froze. It
Yeah.
literally
Was
froze.
it there, like on the plane?
No, it was in the house. I was there in the house. And 1 minute it was working, and the next
Maybe
it
it was
wasn't.
under the warranty, because it's not
Does-
water damage.
Does it turn on at
It
all?
is actually under the warranty, and I already got my money back from
I
American
know
Express.
that. I did that.
Is it the first or the second?
This is the same one. I never switched it.
Oh, so where's the new one?
I have to get one.
Oh, you just took the money.
I took the money, and now I have to get the new one.
Go buy one.
But I was delaying it until now. Now I have no choice.
Yeah, no silent alarm.
Exactly. That Shiloh's taken care of. So,
It seems like you use the money.
I actually asked about it.
So are these leaves here? Are these like wine or grape leaves?
one second. Yeah.
So he said it's what was the term? Agnidas. Pretty much when a goy forgets that you owe money, or he doesn't know they owe money, so you don't have to say it.
Uh-huh.
It was that. So you
Shikhas, like Shikhas Akum.
So you didn't-
I
you
like
didn't-
Marai
no, but
left that.
You didn't have to pay them back. You don't
Well,
Uh-huh.
Simply, it would be it's a Kiddush Hashem, then you should.
Right. I hear. Well, that Shiloh is taken care of. Sorry, Daniel, what were we saying?
Were these leaves that was talking? Those are grape leaves? Malay goth
Grape
leaves?
leaves apparently have some medicinal benefit, so you cannot use those. But anything that does not have medicinal benefit is okay.
And it says ain't no name gome, so they don't want you to put any sort of band on it, I guess. Is that what that is? In the parentheses.
No pet boys.
It's some kind of reed that have medicinal qualities to it.
Oh, okay.
To me, it's like a reed.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Chafei retiya shenoflim al gabe maka shal gabe akarka lo yachzirena nafla al gabe keli yachzirena v'aydeina Yehudi muter lanecha afilu betchila u'muter loimer le'ena Yehudi lasas retiya al maka chabura v'asa lidaleh from mikla l'rape ki'im al yadeina Yehudi. And you're done. Thank you. Okay. So, we're learning about a medicated bandage. If a medicated bandage fell on the floor, then you cannot put it back. The problem is that it's considered a refuah. And there's another issue that these medicated bandage, basically they used to have like a medicine that was like a cream. It was a mush. And when you put it on the wound, you might smear it, smooth it before you put it on the wound. So if you put it on the wound before Shabbos and you left it there, that was fine. If it fell on a keli, then you could put it back. If it fell on the floor, then you cannot put it back. This is similar to what we learned in Chazara, that once it's on the floor, it's considered like it's not like it's a new Chazara. If it's not on the floor, we had opinions that you could put it back, even if it was on a chair or something. Similar concept.
Said that we can put a bandage.
A band-aid, yes, but a medicated bandage. In English, it's called a poultice.
Like with the cream.
Exactly. If it's a bandage that has a cream on it,
It comes that way.
well, if it comes that way, the ones that come that way don't usually have a physical cream. It's just it's there. But
Oh, you're making your own.
in this case, they would make it. They would make it. But if it has it already, then it's a problem. But if it
New spin, new spin, you smoosh it before Shabbat.
so something like that, if it comes off on the ground, you cannot put it back. It comes off on a keli, you can put it back. If you take it off, actually that's the next sif. But he says a goy is allowed to put it on, even in the first place. Why is that? We're talking about a person who has a mixus choili, person who has, it's not a serious illness, but it is an illness. So therefore, a goy can do a derabanan. So putting it on is only derabanan. It's already pre-made. The poultice is already pre-made. The goy just puts it on. He doesn't smear it because that's a deraisa, but he just puts it on. That's okay. Okay. Chavav in the Machaber.
What about the Ramah? Did we do that?
The Ramah said, you're allowed to tell him to make this poultice for his wound. Which the Mishnah Berurah explains he's talking about a wound that makes him weaken his whole body, right? Because obviously to make the poultice involves different isurim de'oraisa. So it's either that the person is weakened in his whole body or that his actual limb is at stake here. You cannot put ashes on a wound because that is a healing to the wound. Unless it's a non-Jew that puts it on.
Ashes?
Ashes, yeah.
I used to put to stop the bleed or something like that.
I don't know.
This is the only reason to put ashes. Like a powder. You put to stop the bleed.
I don't know why they would put ashes, but he says it's some kind of healing.
If it's only bleed, it's
Why? Oh yeah? Okay. I don't know. The Rebbe doesn't bring it down. I'm not sure exactly what the purpose was.
Well, why did they put ashes?
It says it's a refuah. I don't know what refuah it did.
You know that those type of thick things like that, they stop bleeding. My sister was
What does Makala mean here? To
there's
Just one second.
coffee I forgot it was Turkish coffee. I was very young, regular coffee, but it stopped bleeding.
That's interesting. You're asking if that's mutter? Is that your question?
I was suggesting it.
To stop bleeding is not an isser. That's not an isser. You know what I'm saying? That's mutter. That's a mitzvah. To heal, maybe depending on the wound, maybe. What were you saying, Daniel?
So does Makala here, the Marapet, that Makala means to heal or to lessen?
Megala and Chavav, you mean?
No, it says Asr Litain Allah Afar Makala.
Efer Mikla. Efer Mikla, I think, means the ashes from a fire or something.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually not sure.
I don't think ash is the same as ashes.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
It's probably like some sort of healing mud. So there's probably a lot of like minerals in it or something in this ash. Maybe that's it.
That's what Wiki Yeshiva says it means. Ashes left over from something burnt. Basically ashes from burnt material, burnt whatever. Sorry, what?
I was thinking like it's like mineral mud or something like that people use for healing. So,
I mean, that could also be a problem, but that's not what it means.
I mean, maybe I was thinking that's kind of why the ashes are healing. Maybe there's some sort of
Maybe.
minerals
Maybe,
in
I
there.
don't know. I really don't know.
The plant, the bark and leaves are used to make medicine.
Where, who says that?
Is that ash is a plant. The bark and leaves are used to make medicine.
Who says that?
Weapon leaf.
I don't know what that means. Afer is a plant? A plant called Afer? I never heard of that. I don't know. I never heard of that.
No, it's not saying aphors, it's saying ash.
Okay, fine, but that's not what this means. Afer means ashes. Okay,
It would make more sense if it's easy.
I understand, but I don't think it means that here. Okay. We continue and we say.
That is the English.
I don't see it in the Alter Rebbe, actually. I don't see it. That's why I'm not sure. Megalek tzasa v'tiyah makanech b'yamaka v'choy ze megalek tzasa hasheni u'mekancha v'tiyah atzma le'kanech v'nei shu memareach. So you're allowed to, here's what's going on here. When it comes to this medicated poultice, if you take it off completely, you're not allowed to put it back. It's an interesting thing because it's different than chazara, and I'm not sure why it's different. When it comes to chazara, you're allowed to take something off the fire, keep it in your hands, don't put it down, have it in mind, and put it back, like we learned many times.
Yes.
When it comes to this, the retiyah, you cannot put it back the minute you took it off. Even though when it fell off, you couldn't put it back as long as it didn't fall on the ground. But if you took it off and put it back, it's still in your hands. It's mamish here. Can't put it back.
The one with medicine.
The one with medicine, exactly.
That's the reason. Stick.
I don't know. It could be that it's a closer gzeir. When it comes to putting something back in the fire, it's not such a likely gzeir. When it comes to putting back the bandage, because they used to have this cream, it's something that's very likely that the person might smooth it before putting it back. So therefore, they were strict about it.
I think it should be healing. You should not be strict about that. It's a healing stuff.
The Siddur I said was strict about it, healing or not.
Oh.
So here's the thing. The only way to, if you want to clean the wound, what does he say? What does he say, Rafal?
On my head, I can't even look at it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Rabbi, you want this one?
No, no.
When you put it on the bandit, it's by viper. It's disappeared. It's nothing to smooth anymore.
On the bandage, we don't have this. This kind of poultice is not so
If
common.
I'm taking a neurosprom and put it in a bandit, right? Now it's cream. You can.
Cream is something that's a problem because you might smooth it.
No, I'm giving you an example, Rabbi. The neurosprom you
Burnt
put,
ash. He translates it as burnt ash.
but in neurosprom you put it in a bandit. It's like a cream.
Yeah.
But after, if you take it out, you see it's nothing is there because everything is
It gets absorbed. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That's all.
I see. I understand.
So in this case, you allowed to put it back.
That's an interesting question. If it's absorbed, maybe you can. It's absorbed, maybe you can.
Unless if you see the cream really, like
You can put it on the first place on Shabbos, even if it's
place.
absorbed, because that's a refuah. But if you put it on already before Shabbos and it's absorbed and you take it off, maybe you could put it back.
So why we put in bandit on Shabbat?
Why? What do you mean why?
It's everything is for refuah. We don't put bandit for no
I
refuah.
understand, but refuah is asur on Shabbat,
So without is said before to put a bandit.
only with that medicine.
Without,
Yeah, but if it has medicine on it, then you can't.
without medicine, if you put bandit, it's for refuah too.
No, it's not. It's
To not get germ.
to protect is not refuah. Refuah is to heal. Protect is not refuah.
What's the case here? He's revealing the wound a little bit and cleaning it.
I'm sorry, one more time.
I say, what's going on here? Is he revealing the wound a little bit and cleaning it?
Yeah, I was about to say that, but one second.
Okay.
If it's a case that you're allowed to do the healing, For example, Sakanas Aver, or
You
Yeah.
stay with us until 10?
Sakanas Aver, or to protect. Yeah,
Let's say, kilobyte, it's too huge.
לא פשוט. לא פשוט. לא פשוט. The problem is that even though we said tzarchei cotton ala kachila shen b'sakana, but a Jew cannot do a shvus for a chila shen b'sakana. To put a medication is a shvus. So I don't know. Not simple. With a shinoi, you can do a shvus with a shinoi for a chila shen b'sakana. So you can put it with your like that. I don't know what shinoi, but you can put it with the shinoi. That's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. Because a goy could do it, so maybe let the kid do it. He's not commanded yet. Interesting question. If there's no goy available, could be that the kid could do it. It's complicated.
Well, the advantage is a lot more involved that we're opening the wrapper,
Yeah, there are issues with the Band-Aids that we didn't get into.
מותר לשים.
No. על ידי גוי, הוא אומר.
על ידי גוי? על ידי גוי.
Actually, going back to bandages, one of the issues with bandages is that when you put it in a way that it wraps around and it touches itself, so that's a problem because it's like toifer. It's like sewing, by connecting those two ends. And it's a permanent thing because you're never going to remove it. Even when you take the Band-Aid off, you're never going to separate those parts. The way to do it is to do it in a way that the ends don't touch each other. Let's say you have a wound here, you put it over like that. Instead of wrapping it around like that, you put it over like that. Yeah. But you shouldn't touch the ends together. Opening the bandage, the Band-Aid, opening it is another machlekes. But because it's like opening something that's glued together as a shaila.
I opened that before Shabbat.
That's removing it.
Rabbi, I opened that before Shabbat about 4 or 5 other times.
Okay, that's a good thing.
But if you can cut it, a knot and
Yeah,
tool,
if you can cut it without cutting the letters, that's a good way.
Right there, I can cut it.
If you can cut it, that's better.
With the
than
scissor or
opening
no
it.
with scissor?
Even with scissors.
Oh,
If necessary, even with scissors. Some say.
What's to cut? What do you need to cut with scissors here?
Some say.
Take it off?
The question is how to open the Band-Aid because it has these papers that are glued shut, and ungluing is a shaila on Shabbos. It's the opposite of Topher. So if you cut it instead of ungluing those, instead of separating it where you normally separate it, cutting it is a better way. But some allow it anyway, even to open it as usual. Sorry? Question? Okay, let's continue. Says Chavov, Megalek Sasser. I think it's some say it's maybe like Shazira,
Is it like Shiva?
I don't remember if they say it's Teufer or Shira or Shazira. Shazira is when you twist many threads into one thread. I don't remember what they say.
But Shazira not, because there's only one. Just folding it.
Right. I don't remember.
Okay.
גדול הדור יכול לחלוק על זה? על ההלכות?
תלוי איזה.
תלוי איזה.
תלוי.
אם זה לא דאורייתא, זה רק רבנן.
תלוי איזה הלכה, אם זה מהמשנה ברורה, אם זה מהמחבר. כל הלכה יש לו את המקור שלו. אוקיי, מגלה קצס רתיע ומקנח פי המכה, בכל שמגלה קצוס השני מקנחה, ורתיע עצמו להיקנח מדי שום ומרח. Talking about this medicated bandage. So if you want to clean the wound under the bandage, you can lift up the bandage, clean part of the wound, and then repeat on the other side, and the other side, and so on. Never completely remove the bandage, and also make sure never to actually smooth the medication that is on the bandage, because that is a very right.
That's if you have to add medication. So if you do not with one, just both if you have to.
Adding medication is not simple on Shabbos, depending on the situation. If it's a choila sheyesh b'sakana, you could do anything you need. If it's a sakanas aver, you can add medication. If it's a choila she'en b'sakana, not pashut. You would have to have a goy do it. If it's to protect from a major infection that could either be life-threatening or could affect the limb, then it's also mutar.
If a wound, you have to, every day you have to take the cover, wash it, with medication, and cover it again.
Right.
That's a typical treatment for a wound.
Right.
Depending on.
Yeah. I imagine that those wounds, if they're not treated properly, can become very serious. I imagine. Each wound has to be judged separately, but if it's a wound that if it's not treated, it would be serious. It could be an infection and the person can be endangered, then it would be mutar. But at the same time, you would want to minimize any isser. If there's a goy that can do it, is better. Not than only a derabbanan, not a deraisa, and so on, depending on the situation. Okay. Chav ches and the machaber. Amefis shchin b'Shabbos. A person who pops a boil on Shabbos. Chav ches and the machaber. A person who opens up a boil on Shabbos, he opens the boil up. Exactly, like the doctors do. That's part of the refuah, to open the wound. This is an isur da'oraisa of makah b'patish. This is the work of the doctor. So basically, making an opening in a wound is considered like a makah b'patish. It's like a final fixing. You're fixing the body. By making an opening, you're fixing the body. The definition of this opening, for the purpose of being chayav, is that it's both to take out the pus and to allow the air in, to dry out the wound. That is the definition of a forbidden opening. That is a isur d'oraisa. Now comes a chiddush. One second. Middle. If your intention was only one intention, you only wanted to open the wound to get out the pus, and you don't care about the wound drying out, whatever, it's just painful. The pus is painful. You want to get it out. and the wound drying out, you're not a doctor. You don't know. Need it, you don't need it. That's not your intention. Then it is mutter. Not only is it not an Isser D'Oraisa, it becomes a heter. This is a very big chiddush. Because usually something that's so close to a D'Oraisa, if you would do it with a different intention, would be a D'Oraisa. Usually the Chacham would forbid it. But over here, because of the pain that the person is feeling, they were lenient. And as long as his intention is only to remove the pus, it's allowed.
What other intention?
One second. Yes, question. No.
What other
Doesn't
intention
say.
could it be once you open it, really?
No, there is an intention that the
Okay.
doctors want the wound to remain open so
Yeah.
that it will dry out. It will dry out. That means the air gets in and dries out the wound. They want that.
And if your intention is to remove the pus,
Only to remove the pus, then it's mutter.
wouldn't that happen anyway, though?
The drying out.
No, yeah, the drying out.
Yeah. But if it's not your intention, it's a malacha she'en tzarich legufa, which is very close to the D'Oraisa.
Yeah.
Still, because of the pain, the Chachamim were mekel.
Probably were also progresses. Blood is also going to come out.
No. He says the Alter is going to discuss that actually. You have to do it only if it seems that no blood is going to come out. If it comes out beyond your control, I mean, it wasn't your intention, whatever. But if you know that blood is going to come out, then you can't do it.
I don't know.
Right. The blood that's in that wound already is not considered connected to the body. We're talking about the blood, in the blood vessels. That's what can't come out. That's like extracting. Alter Rebbe explains it. Okay, let's go over to the Alter Rebbe. We're a little bit behind in the Alter Rebbe. We're a little bit further. Lamed. We're going to start from Lamed. Yeah. Lamed. Noisin ola al gabe maka b'Shabbos. You're allowed to put a leaf on the wound on Shabbos. Shein elika mishama, because that's only a protection. So that's like the banner that we discussed. Chutz me'alei gefanam shem l'rfu, besides grape leaves, which are a healing. אנחנו באלתר רבי חופכס. עברנו לאלתר רבי חופכס. Wadim kol el shem rap, and the same thing is with all leaves that heal. Chavches. In the son of Alevi Bo'od Yoim, if you put them on from before Shabbos, they siram, and you remove them, me'aleha mishachashecha, after Gatakar Filim makes it even on purpose. You're allowed to put it back. If you took off a healing leaf on Shabbos, you can put it back because that's a continuation of a healing that you started before Shabbos. Now, with a medicated bandage, which has a poultice, which has an additional problem that you may smear, that's a separate problem we're going to get to in a minute. But if it's just a dry healing object, like the medicated bandages we have today, that might have sprayed on it some medication, but there's nothing to smear. So that if you put it on before Shabbos, you take it off, you can put it back. It's no problem. But a poultice, which we already said has like a creamy mix of herbs in it, but made it on purpose if you let it be in your hands, also allows you can't put it back. Why? Because you might smooth out the salve and level the hollows in it, which would be an Isser Mamachik, like we explained. If it fell off, even if it completely fell off, you're allowed to put it back. If it fell on top of a utensil, if it fell on the ground, putting it back is like putting it in the first place on Shabbos. It's not allowed. It's exer because you might smoothen the poultice and also might grind herbs. Not sure why grinding herbs is an issue. We said before, if it's a dry thing, it's not a problem. It's the smearing that is a problem. So I'm not sure about that.
Why is the it fell on the top of kalim or on the floor?
Because kalim is considered like it doesn't belong there. Floor, it's like It's on the floor. It's like it's a new thing to pick it up off the floor. Like we had the same thing by Chazor. That putting it on the floor is worse than putting it on the chair. Some are lenient by Chazor if you put it on the chair to put it back.
When something falls, it's fall. It's like you don't control where it's falling. It's like
I understand.
You're taking it with your hand, you can control where you want to put it.
I understand, but we're not blaming you. It fell. It's nobody's fault. But if it falls on the floor, so it's like putting it back is something new. If it's on a keli, it looks like it doesn't belong there, so it's considered a continuation.
I think if it's falling on the floor, it's a dirt inside. You clean it and then you smoosh, with the then it's a more.
No. Look at that. מגל האדם, ועל ידי נוח ימותו לכתחילה, ימותו להניח על המעקה אפילו בתחילה, אם יש למנו צער מקצה זכויות כמו שבא למים. A goy can put it on the wound even in the first place, if he's in pain and he's called mikzas choila, somewhat sick, like we said before. אבל also למלנachri לעשה סרטי בשבת, שמיר חרטי מלאך גמור, ודני nachri ישבוס גמור. You can't tell him to do it on Shabbos, because doing it is a complete malacha, and he can't do it for a person who's a mikzas chayli. It's only allowed to tell him to make this medicated poultice, which involves cooking and smoothing and everything else, unless the person is either seriously ill or he has a limb that's in danger.
If a guy come automatically on Shabbat and he's doing it, because is this chole.
אם הוא חולה שמותר, זה בבקשה. אם זה חולה שאסור לו,
because he's going every day and change the path, the washing. So you can continue on Shabbat as well.
If it's a חולה שמותר, then מותר. If it's not, it's not מותר.
So if it's a חולה שמותר, so it's no.
You can tell him yourself. בבקשה.
What is the shvus gamor? What's the difference between a shvus and a shvus gamor?
Shvus gamor means a complete issa d'Rabbanan.
What's an example of that?
As
between a regular
shvus, which is a double d'Rabbanan.
Oh,
I have a guy put on a medicated bandage that was already made. Is only a shvus to shvus. That's a double d'Rabbanan. That's permissible, not only if he's seriously ill, but even if he's somewhat ill. That's the previous case. But the
shvus garmor is when he's making it right there.
Shvus garmor is when he's making it, correct. So the guy is doing an issa d'oraisa. I mean, the guy is not commanded to keep Shabbos, but he's doing something that for us would be an issa d'oraisa. So when he does it, it's called a shvus gomer, and that's forbidden unless the person is either seriously ill or he has a limb in danger. All right?
Besides, you also have this one like we're talking about. So if the nurse comes to switch it, should refuse it.
The nurse comes to switch what? Sorry? Yeah.
Jewish. In Israel, so
refuse it.
What they have to do? So you refuse?
If he's Jewish, yeah, unless it's mutter, you have to refuse. Of course. A person is allowed to uncover the wound and clean it and put the bandage back. And then the other side. Because you're not removing the whole thing at once, but it's allowed. But as you're doing that, you have to make sure not to smoothen the cream that's on the bandage. Okay, Lamed Beis. A map is Mursa b'Shabbos. I don't think it's awesome. No, it's okay. It's okay. A map is Mursa b'Shabbos. A person who pierces a blister on Shabbos. if the intent in making the opening is so that air will enter as a remedy to heal the blister, it's considered makabeh patish. He's making an opening. Anybody who makes an opening in anything disconnected from the ground is chayiv as a tikkun kli. Lamed Beis and Alter Rebbe. Like we said before, Mali tikkun kli, Mali tikkun maka. What's the difference if you're fixing a kli, if you're fixing a wound? It's both considered a isser. Also, making a tikkun and an opening of the wound is maka b'patish. Even though you're not chayiv, unless it's an opening that goes both in and out, this wound, this opening in the wound also takes in the air, and it gets rid of the pus. If it's only to get rid of the pus, and the saros say that is bothering him, therefore, not in order to bring in the air, it's allowed. Even though, as he's doing it, obviously he's going to allow the air to enter. Because it doesn't need it as a malacha, which is usually asad rabbanan, and here is mutter because of the pain. Now the Alter Rebbe asks that there is actually a machlokes rishonim based on a machlokes in the Gemara about malacha she'ein tzrich legufa. Right, in the Gemara, Yehuda says it's chayiv, Shimon says it's pater, and even in halacha, the Rambam says chayiv. He passes like Rabbi Yehuda in that respect. Other rishonim say it's pater. Now we have a question. According to the Rambam, it says it's chayiv. So what's the heter to open the wound just because you don't care about the air coming in? It's going to come in. So it should be chayiv. And if it's a chiyuv, it's an issur d'oraisa, it should only be allowed if the person's life is at stake. So the Alter explains. Even according to those that say that because the chiyuv is because you're fixing the wound. Therefore, if you don't need it and you're not intending for it, even though it's happening on its own, it's not considered a tikkun. It's like you made nothing. But you should make a decree that he might do it on purpose, because of his tsar, they didn't make the decree. We have this concept coming up in other places in Hilchos Shabbos. And when it comes to tikkun kli, sometimes it is subjective. When you need the tikkun, it's considered a tikkun. When you don't need it, it's not considered a tikkun at all. The whole thing is that you're fixing. But if it's not a significant fix, so then it's not like you did a malacha, but you don't need it. It's like you didn't do a malacha at all. Because fixing is relative. If you don't need it, it's considered like nothing. We have that in when it comes to strengthening the metal. We have a concept. I think the Maggid Mishnah says it, that if you cool off heated metal, but your intention is not to strengthen the metal, that's not considered an issur d'oraisa, because the whole thing of having metal strengthened by cooling and heating is like, it's not a real tikkun unless you want it to be a tikkun. It's not significant unless you want it to be significant. So it's a similar thing here. Some say it's only if your intention is to get rid of the pus that is there presently. You don't care if it closes up again. But if you want it to stay open so that it should continue getting the pus out, even though you don't intend to bring the air back into it, so therefore, if you want to keep the wound open, allow the pus to continue flowing out, then you should only open it up through a non-Jew. Now, this is very important. Lamed Gimel. I will also lochach shchim shemoitzi dam yesh bo mishum choivel. It is forbidden to cut open a blister from which blood will emerge. For doing so causes one to be liable for causing blood to flow.
Atazah?
Huh?
Atazah? You know when we take blood from the neck, like this.
I said like blood from the neck.
You let's say if you have a wound with the infection, so you don't allow to push it to the
No. You cannot squeeze blood out of a wound to clean the wound. That's an Issa d'Oraisa. Can't do it.
So you leave it.
Leave it.
If you have a snake bite,
Oh, that's dangerous.
you can take blood.
Whatever you need to do for snake bite, you do.
Like, it could be like it's not pushed.
If you're not sure, if you know for a fact that it's not, okay. But if you're not sure, you have to treat it appropriately. I don't know what you have to do, because nowadays I think they say not to squeeze it out, because they say squeezing it actually makes it spread. It's better just to not touch it and to get assistance.
Tie before.
I don't think they say to tie it. Now they say just to get to the hospital as soon as possible, because I think they say that trying to get it out sometimes makes it spread more. I think they say not to touch it, just to get to the hospital.
Tie?
I don't know. I don't think they say.
That's really good.
Don't trust me. I think they say just to get to the hospital. They say not to try to do it yourself. But anyway, just call 911. They'll tell you what to do.
The best.
So, the Alter Rebbe explains, why is it that you're allowed to take out the pus and not the blood? It says not the same. The pus is not considered connected to the body. It's already disconnected from the body. It's like sitting there in a keli. It's like you have a little container. That's the wound, and it contains the pus. It's not considered like a liquid that's absorbed in the body. When you open up the wound and you take out the pus, it's like you opened a jar and you poured out the water. The water is not connected to the jar. It's just sitting in it. The pus is just considered to be sitting in the wound. It's not considered connected to it. Not so. The blood is considered to be connected and absorbed in the skin, in the body, in other words. So taking blood out from the bloodstream is a problem. Now, if there's blood already in the pus mixed in, that blood is not considered connected to the body. But if it's blood that's still in the bloodstream, you're squeezing it out, that is a problem. Let me just see if we can sneak in one more. Let's do one more halacha. Lamed and Lamed Vav. Lamed in the Machaber. Misha nishpata perak yadai raglim mukamele shavshena haver v'tzenis shezeh for also the richetz kedakim and the shabbat. We mentioned this in the past. A person whose limb has popped out of its place, you cannot rub it a lot with cold water because that is a healing. Rather, you wash it, and if it heals, it heals. Which the Alter Rebbe says in Lamed Vav, Misha nishpat perak yadai ragle dahanu sheyotz etzem mukamele shavshena haver v'tzenis shezeh for also. And a person dislocates his forearm or shin, the bone is slipped from its place, he should not rub it excessively in cold water because that is its remedy. Instead, he should wash it in his ordinary manner. If, as a result, he is healed, then he will have been healed, so no consequence. So, basically, the Alter Rebbe does not, and the Mechaber does not consider a dislocated limb to be a sakonas aver. I do believe that nowadays they say that it is sakonas aver. I believe they say now that if you don't put a limb back in place, it could cause permanent damage. I think you mentioned that last time. And therefore, it would seem that you could put it back. Not through a deraisa, but just putting it back. Let me see if he discusses it here. Mem Zion, 1 second. Yeah, the Mishnah Berurah says that if the limb is completely popped out of its place, you could put it back. It's Sakanas Aver. Even a Jew could put it back. And he explains in the Dirshu that if you don't put it back right away, then it can become swollen and difficult to put back. So that's the Mishnah Berurah's psak. Okay, my friends, to be continued in Mirz Hashem next Monday night. I think we have to do another shir on the Choila because I wanted to touch upon the laws of a woman who gives birth on Shabbos also, which we didn't get to. So we'll continue that Monday night in Mirz Hashem. All right, have a good night.